Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Friday. In Paul's epistle to the Romans in chapter 12, some commentaries call this last section, How to Behave as a Christian. In verse 13, he says, distributing to the needs of the saints and given to hospitality. You know, we learned back in verse 9 that we should love without hypocrisy, which means genuinely and truly. In verse 10, it says we should be kindly affectionate to one another. So it seems only logical that we would be able to distribute to the needs of the saints. Barnabas was a wonderful example of this in the New Testament. In Acts chapter 4 and verse 36, the Bible says he had land and he sold it, brought the proceeds and laid them at the apostles' feet. Now, first of all, many in the church had done that by selling their possessions and sharing it with others. Secondly, Barnabas is translated son of encouragement, which tells us right there who he is and what he was like whenever he came to give this great gift. But I also think it's significant that he laid the money at the apostles' feet. He was saying to them, I trust your judgment. I'm going to give this to you, and you give it to whoever needs it. You know, many people today would like to designate all of their gifts. I'm giving my gift to the church or whatever charitable organization, but here is how I want it to be used. To tell you the truth, that's not really a donation. That is spending your money however you want to, but using the organization or the church as your vehicle to spend that money. Maybe even for a tax write-off, I don't know. But Barnabas brought his money, all that he got from this sale of the land, and he laid it at their feet. It is only right for the church to care for the needs of the saints. Sometimes we don't know the need and probably can't do anything about that situation. But when we do know a need, we must be helpful. We must be loving. And above all things, we must be generous in the way that we care for the saints around us. James chapter 2 reminds us in chapter 2, verse 16, that we cannot see another one naked, destitute, and say to that person, depart in peace, be warmed and fed. That's proof of the phrase that he says right after that, faith without works is dead, being alone. We have to show our faith by the things that we do. Paul also says that we should be given to hospitality. Now, during the days of persecution, certainly this was needed even more. Others may be called upon to open up their homes and to help someone in need or someone who has been turned out because of their Christian faith. It doesn't mean that we have to fling open our doors today, but it might. It might mean that we need to be more warm and friendly and open. We might need to be welcoming and even generous toward others. You know, Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 2 says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Perhaps God is going to use one of his angels to test our hospitality, our love, our generosity, and we have to be aware of that. So believers and the church are called to impart to the saints whatever they need and to be generous and also to be welcoming as individual believers. This is just another mark of love, which Jesus said will show others that you are my disciples.